I just wanted to talk for a minute about the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster. So the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster was an incident that happened because the O-rings on a takeoff were not secure and they were not ready to be used in the weather conditions that they were planning to launch in. But they went ahead and did it anyway because they were pressed for time on launches and had to stay on a schedule to be able to complete the rest of their launches that year. And the results were that all of the passengers on board died and the aircraft blew up as well. The first question is, what could NASA have done differently? I think obviously they could have taken more precautions in regards to safety, and they needed to take the sufficient amount of time needed to make sure that the O-rings would have worked properly to seal correctly on the aircraft so that none of this would have happened, and this would have avoided the disaster and the deaths that did take place. The second question is, what should Roger Boisjoly done differently, if anything? And I don't think that he did anything wrong. I think it was right of him to raise his concerns and keep raising them because he thought they were really important. I know that could have been hard and scary for him, especially knowing that it's his livelihood on the line. He wanted to be able to give his family an income and an earning, but I think it was important that he did raise the concerns that he did. But in the end, the launch still happened and the disaster still happened. I think he wasn't the most well-liked by the program after this incident and after he was found out to have known beforehand, obviously, but he was the one who warned them that the weather conditions were not good and would not allow the carrier to work as it was supposed to, especially with the O-rings in the bad weather. They weren't meant to work that way in cold weather, which is when the launch was taking place. I think he did the right thing, and I think that would have been a really hard thing for him to do. He maybe could have tried a little harder to stop the launch, but I think that was conflicting for him because it was going against orders. But I think in the future, professional responsibilities for us in general, I think it's important to be loyal to management, but also more important to look out for the well-being of yourself and others in the community or who you're working with. And I think this Space Shuttle Challenger disaster is a good example of that. If someone would have stepped up just a little bit harder and not let this happen, a lot of lives would have been saved, and I think it helped us learn the importance of that this disaster did happen. It's sad that it had to happen, but hopefully we learned some lessons from it, and I think this is important for us to take into professional roles going forward in life.